What in the world is going on here? The president is promoting it. We see some doctors promoting it. They're blown off Twitter. They're considered kooks. And here we have this top Yale professor who says, wait a minute, that's not true. As a result, tens of thousands of patients with COVID-19 are dying unnecessarily. Fortunately, the situation can be reversed easily and quickly. So, Professor Risch, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Nice to be here.
The question is, you've looked, I take it, at all these studies, and what do you conclude?
I conclude the evidence is overwhelming. There's no question that in the people who need to be treated and are treated early, it has a very substantial benefit in reducing risk of hospitalization or mortality. And there's been a massive disinformation campaign that stretches from the government to the media that's either suppressing this message or it's countering it with a false message. And I'm not an expert in the reasons why that's happening other than just observing it, but I am an expert in the science, and I can tell you the science is all one-sided. In fact, the science is so one-sided in supporting this result that it's stronger than anything else I've ever studied in my entire career. So scientifically, there's no question whatsoever.
And most of the studies that are cited by the government scientists and the media are studies that do not treat patients early in the virus. Is that correct?
It's either that they cite studies that are hospitalized patients, or they cite studies such as the Bulwer studies from Minnesota that treat low-risk patients. These are people under age 60 with no chronic conditions. And so those are low-risk people, and we're not talking about treating low-risk people. We're talking about treating people over 60 or with chronic conditions or obesity, diabetes, and so on. Those are the people who are at risk of being hospitalized and dying from this illness. Those are the people who have to be treated. And all the studies, every one of the studies that looks at that group of people has shown benefit. There are no studies in those people that show lack of benefit.
Doctor, you tell us the science says yes. He says no. Has Dr. Fauci ever called you and asked you your opinion and why you have the opinion that you do?
No. Dr. Fauci has...
And you're renowned. I've done research on your background. You're a renowned expert. You're at one of the top schools in America. Let me ask you this. Has the head of the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, ever contacted you and asked you about your review of these various studies?
He's not contacted me for that purpose.
May 15, the Washington Post, drug promoted by Trump as coronavirus game changer increasingly linked to deaths. That was the headline that was blared. Is that true? It's increasingly linked to deaths? And what's their data for this?
First of all, it doesn't say in which patients. If you're talking about very sick hospitalized patients who get it as a last-ditch effort because nothing else is working, then there might be some relationship like that. If you're talking about healthy outpatients who are getting it among for example, the 10 billion people who've gotten this over the last 65 years, there's no relationship at all. And so you have to be very specific about who you're talking about when you make statements like that.
You know, it is incredible to me that in the middle of this pandemic, that a drug that has been used for over half a century, where the testing has been so thorough and it's been ubiquitous, and it's so cheap. Each pill is very, very cheap, that there is this effort to fight it and to destroy the doctors and the experts who dare to suggest that in the early stages, or even maybe as a prophylactic, you might want to use this if it's prescribed by a doctor. Now pharmacists are afraid to provide it, and now doctors are concerned to prescribe it, and some hospitals won't prescribe it. And this has been politicized in an incredible way. And you right here, wait a minute. This drug can save thousands and thousands of lives. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Never know that somehow we've let politics overrule science. And it's an absurd situation. People have compared this to 1984 and the Ministry of Truth and so on. That's limiting what people can say on objective facts. It's beyond belief. And bureaucracy that's in bed with other forces that are causing them to make decisions that are not based on the science, that is killing Americans, is not acceptable.